Hey everyone, this is C Reviews, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 animated DC movies. So we're going to start off with number 10, and number 10 is Justice League War. And that one is pretty much a version of the Rebirth comic book that they made for the Justice League, and it's like a retelling of their story of how the mightiest DC characters at the time, the early members came together and stopped Darkseid, and he's pretty much like the main villain in this one. And it's basically too, if you ever it's pretty much like the live action, but this one's way better than the live action version. So it pretty much consists of Green Lantern, Batman, Shazam's in this one, Wonder Woman, Superman. Am I missing? And the Flash, obviously. And Darkseid's a villain. There's no really big Easter eggs, I don't think, for anything in particular for that. So my overall review for that movie is 7 out of 10. It's basically like, the title says it all, it's the war, and it's just about how Darkseid's coming to Earth, and it shows Batman. It's Batman investigating like the Darkseid murders and shit. Like all his army men are leaving these boxes everywhere, and he's trying to find out what the deal is. And Cyborg's, and I keep fucking forget Cyborg's in it. And this is pretty much like his origin too for the new animated movie that they made too. So it was pretty good. I liked it. Shazam had a little good opening point. You get to see like Superman and Batman throw down at the start right away, so that was pretty cool. There's a couple good moments in it. So number 9, we're gonna kick it off, and it's gonna be Batman Assault. I think it's Assault on Arkham, and that one is kind of, Batman's kind of like the subplot in it, kind of, and it has to do with Amanda Waller. It's basically like the Suicide Squad movie, but 10 times better. This is what they should have did to make the live action. They should have just copied the version of the animated, and that would have been like 10 times better. So it basically has like Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang. I can't even remember. I think it's like King Claw, not King Sharks. King Shark's not in it. I can't remember. There's a few other ones in that one, and it was really good. Like there's it's pretty much it sums it all. They do an assault on Arkham because I forget what happens. I think Joker takes over Arkham, and they have to Amanda hires her squad to take it out, and while that's happening, Batman's like kind of behind the scenes in the shadows, like lurking around and making sure shit's going down, and then like Joker's like running around causing havoc, and it's fucking good. Like it was a good watch, and I gave that one an 8 out of 10. It was very good. There's a lot of oh shit moments in it. It was cool because you get to see the side of like the villain's point of view, and this one came out before Suicide Squad. So when Suicide Squad got announced and came out, I was kind of excited because they had the Joker in it. So because I was hoping it was going to be just like that, because they had Batman in it, but Batman was only in it for 4 minutes. But this animated Batman's in it through like the whole time. Like the opening scene is pretty much him taking down like the Riddler with the Amanda Waller like fucking him over or some shit in the end. But it was very good. So 8 out of 10. And number 8, we're to come at you with Justice League Dark, and that one I gave it an 8 out of 10 because it was fucking awesome too. That one just came out I think a couple years ago, and they decided to go like Justice League Dark sums it up. You have the Justice League, and then you have the Justice League Dark, and that consists of like Zatanna, who's a witch with who can do spells and all that kind of stuff, and he's in like the art of magic. Constantine, if you ever know who that is, he's all about like he's a magic too, like not magic, like kind of like a demi, like conjures up like demons, and he can know spells, certain things too, like the dead and all about hell and shit like that too. I can't really remember the other characters in it. Like there's like, I think his name's Deadman. Trying to remember who are the other people in it too. Swamp Thing shows up. He's not really a part of the team, not until the end, but when Swamp Thing shows up, it's fucking so badass. Like I never thought Swamp Thing was actually anything that cool until I watched this, and he was fucking sweet. So that's why I gave it an 8 out of 10. Because it was cool, because it shows, like at the start, everyone's like a bunch of humans, and Justice League members are getting like, I can't even explain it really. They're getting like, seeing everyone they see is like a demon kind of deal. So they're getting like they're getting like paralyzed, not paralyzed, but they're just getting confused every time they see people. They think they're seeing demons. So they realize that like magic is a part of this. So then Batman's a part of this one too. So it's kind of badass because Batman's like with the Dark Justice too. So like when stuff's happening, he's like there, still not believing any of like this magic crap until like the very end. But like he still manages to hold his own against like the Sorcerer Supreme or whatever like the bad guy is in the end. Number 7 is The Dark Knight Part 1. And The Dark Knight Part 1, I gave it an 8 out of 10, and that's pretty much the Dark Knight comic book is based off of. They made it into 2 parts, this movie, because it was so long and so fucking good. So the first chunk, it's pretty much him, Batman, like Bruce Wayne's been retired. He's about, I think he's like in his 70s in this now. Like it shows him he's rugged, retired from being Batman now, and you learn like stuff's happened. The Justice League broke off, and Superman is the only member who's running around being a hero, and no one else is, and pretty much. So he works for the government and everything like that, and that's what we find out. And then it's all about the mutants, they're called, and it's like they're like a punk kind of a punk group and art like in Gotham. And this makes Batman have to come back, and Two-Face comes back too into play in this one, and then so Batman has to step up and come back, and then he ends up getting a new Robin. Sorry, not new Batman. He ends up getting a new Robin in the form of a girl this time. I think her name's Cadet Kelly. It's like a CC word. It's like a Cara Kelly, I think her name is. I usually know it, but I'm butchering her now. But she's pretty fucking cool in it too. He calls her a little soldier and that, and like he gives her one job and says if you fuck up, you're fired. So it's like they have like he sees it as like I'm hiring you now kind of deal. And Jim Gordon's in it now. But like the first one, it wasn't too bad, but the last shot we see is we find out that Joker's still alive in this like universe that's happening, and we find out now that Batman's back. He sees him on the news, and then he gets his smile back. So that's a tease from then that he's gonna be back in part 2. So that was fucking really cool. So I gave that an 8 out of 10, and that was my number 7. So number 6 is Justice League Doom, and Justice League Doom I gave that a 7 out of 10, but I would probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. So Justice League Doom is pretty much the Justice League Doom. They're like the opposite of Justice League, so it's like their counterparts. Like they're a couple of their villains counterparts. Like I can't even remember who the Vandal Savage, Mirror Master. I can't even remember Superman's villain in it. Cheetah's Wonder Woman's villain in that, and Bane is for Batman. And the whole thing is they find out that Batman has this whole plot, like this whole way to take down every single member of the Justice League, including himself. And so they hack into that computer and they take that, and then they end up like 30 minutes in the movie, you end like every single one of the Justice League members are in their own scene, and they're going through like they're gonna die. Like it's pretty fucking epic. And then it comes back as Batman trying to stop what's happening pretty much. So it was fucking really good. And that's like, I think that was like one of the first ones I got back into when I got out of high school. So like 7.5 out of 10, and it's very fucking cool because it's like, again, it's from the villain side at the start, and then it hops back to like the hero side too, because the heroes have no fucking clue what's happening. And Martian Manhunter's in that one too. So, and like his counterparts is like his cousin, I think it is, or his brother, I can't remember, and it's pretty cool seeing that. And number 5 is, I know I'm gonna probably get balls for this, but number 5 is Batman Under the Red Hood, and I give that one an 8.5 out of 10. So if anyone knows that origin story, then I shouldn't really need to explain it, but I'm going to. So when I first watched it, I knew the origin of everything, so I was excited to fucking see what was going to go down, and it was fucking so good. Like, you see Batman, like you see the flashbacks of when he had like Jason Todd. Then we're finding out like Jason's not even with him anymore, so he's like kind of by himself as Batman. And then we learn out there's this new like vigilante killing like all the villains on the streets, and then at the end like it's ends up being like Jason, and it's fucking so intense because like you find out that like at the start like he died, like it shows Robin dying at like in the first 15 minutes. Spoiler heads, guys, but it was fucking so good. And that's pretty much what got me back into watching animated. And usually I try and tell people if you're going to watch one, start with that one maybe. But I have another one that I highly recommend starting first too. That's what she said. 8 out of 10. Okay, let's do this. So number 4 is Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. 8 out of 10. That one came out I think in the early 2000s. So I think it was just when Batman Beyond was on TV. They had like that was like their big movie they were releasing. It didn't get a lot of big buzz, but I fucking loved it. They still have like Mark Hamill comes back as Joker in the voice acting. They have the new Batman, Terry McGinnis, who's voiced by Eric Matthews from Boy Meets World. I fucking love that. That was one of my favorite things forever when I found that out, and I give that an 8 out of 10 because like it has to deal with like the Batman animated series too. So it goes flashbacks to like that, and it talks about like what happens to like Tim Drake, another Robin, and like what happened to him, and like what happens to when it's just so good. It's so good. It was a great one. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Number 2. Oh no, number 3. Sorry guys, we're jumping ahead. Number 3 is Batman: The Mask of the Phantasm, and that one was an 8.5 out of 10. That one was so fucking good, guys. It came out in early 90s, so I was like I think 5 or 6 when I was watching it, and it was like one of the first like animated movies to ever go on TV, like for Batman, like on the big screen. Like it went to the movie box office and everything apparently. Like it was fucking crazy. Like I didn't go see it obviously because I figured out when it came out, like I think I was way too young, but I ended up getting it like on VHS, and I watched it all the time. It creeped the fuck out of me with the Joker and the Mask of the Phantasm villain. It was so good because it's like it's like a little spin on Batman's origin story. If you ever watch the Batman animated series, it's like a prequel movie to that kind of deal. So that was really fucking cool. I loved it. Like like it's pretty much shows like his origin and how he had this one girl right before he was gonna not become Batman. And then like she ends up leaving him in the end, and then that's like that's his full turn. That ends up pushing him to the end of him finally becoming Batman, because he was gonna like start going out, and then he found this woman, and then after she left him and broke his heart and all this shit, then he finally went over the edge and realized it's time to do something for Gotham, because like a bunch of shit happened like with their dad and stuff like that. And it has to and it has the Joker in it too with Mark Hamill, like the OG voice actors. It was very fucking good. So an 8.5 out of 10. I'd hard 8.5 out of 10. I highly recommend starting that one because that one came out like 1993. I think it was so fucking good. Number 2, Justice League Flashpoint. So fucking good. A hard 9 out of 10. Justice League Flashpoint was fucking amazing. So it's basically like the opening is Barry Allen, the Flash. He's like stopping like the rogues gang, his rogues gang that's like doing a bank heist. Then we find out that Zoom, his reverse Flash kind of deal, his villain, his nemesis is like there, and all of a sudden everyone that's there gets like all the villains get tagged with bombs. So now Zoom makes him say like, okay, now it's time, it's like you have to come save us, blah blah. And then like the Justice League show up too, so that was fucking cool. And then and that's in the first like 10 minutes. So you see like the Flash take down the rogues, and then all of a sudden all the Justice League members come and have to help him in the end, because like he needs help with all the bombs with each person. And then what happens is you find, like, we learn too that Zoom, we kind of know too, spoiler, that Zoom kills his mom. That's like his whole origin story with Flash, that like Reverse Flash killed his mom, and that's like what spirals Barry into becoming like an investigator, and like he gets hit by the bolt of lightning at his area where he's investigating shit too. And like the whole, so like that night he's thinking, and he ends up just going for a run, And what he does is, by accident, he ends up going back in time to save his mom before she dies. And he wakes up and he finds out, like, he tries to run. He goes like this with his ring because he has his suit out in his ring, because he goes like this and pops out, and he just runs super fast into it pretty much, and then transforms it, like jumps into his suit pretty much, which is fucking cool. And then we learn he doesn't have his powers anymore, and this is the best part. And like as he's sleeping too, he's like forgetting shit, and it's like showing him new memories that he like never had before. So since he went back in time to save his mom, everything got fucked in the timeline. So Superman didn't land at the farm. He landed in New York and got taken by the government right away. And we learned he hasn't seen the light of day in forever, and he's like super skinny. Cyborg works for the government. Who else? Wonder Woman and Aquaman were like lovers, but then now the Amazonians and wow, I'm gonna butcher this. The Atlanteans are at war. It's like Flashpoint for him. So it's a big war happening there now too. And then for Batman, what happened was, this is the fucking coolest for Batman. So, and they made a comic book for this too, so I highly recommend checking the comic book out. So with Batman, when he went, like, when his like origin story is, like, his parents died. Instead of his parents dying, he died. His mom goes crazy and becomes the Joker, and his dad kills the mugger and becomes a hardcore motherfucking Batman with like guns and everything, and just like a rogue badass guy. And I gave like a hard 9 out of 10. Like, I remember when my buddy told me about this movie, it was fucking so good. Like, it's still fucking good. Like, it was great. It has to do with like the concept of time travel for the Flash. Like, so like it shows like it's not just his like world that gets fucked up, it's everyone else's and everything. And then I think for Green Lantern, it did even like I think his thing, he was in his jet and he crashed and he like just like blew up and he disappeared, and it doesn't even show where it went, kind of deal. So that was fucking crazy. Yeah, like they just had a big war and it was fucking cool. So and hard 9 out of 10. I don't know what I was talking about, but love. So number 1 is The Dark Knight Part 2, obviously, and that's a hard 9.5 out of 10. So one thing I didn't talk about is this, for the Dark Knight one, is I got surprised a lot, because when Joker comes back, he's on like the Conan show or something, and he literally kills everyone in the audience. He's like, it's basically like a showdown between the first 45 minutes. It's between Batman and the Joker. Like, they're at the carnival. There's this like, he has like this kid, and then he's running with the kid through like the carnival, just randomly shooting people, laughing, and then like Batman is like running, following, kind of deal. So it's like epic. It's a really epic like fucking like 40 like movie, and that's not even the kicker of it. So then, spoiler ahead, he ends up like, stuff happens with that. And then at the end, we find everyone finds out that Batman's back, like the news and the government. And if you don't remember that, Superman is the only Justice League member left. Like, everyone dispersed. Like, Wonder Woman went back to Amazon. Hal Jordan left Earth and like disappeared. Aquaman went fucking bye-bye in the water. And then Bruce Wayne was just quitting. And then same with like the Flash, or he ran away to the Speed Force, probably because he was like, got so fast, I guarantee you, or some shit like that. But anyways, they put a hit on Batman, and it's Superman gets told that he has to go after him now. And so what happens is, he says, okay, so then they have a meeting as Bruce Wayne and Clark first. Like, comes to the Bruce Wayne's like house, and they're just kind of talking, and he says, like, you should stop. And then they kind of pretty much tells him like, I'll be ready for you, kind of deal. And so we see I see first time ever like Batman, like in the movie, Batman and Superman throw down for like 30 fucking minutes. And we also get to find out that like the Green Arrow didn't want to quit, and Superman had to retire him too. But we find out he's still like, Oliver still survived, and he's just like one arm and shit like that, and he helps Batman out in a way at the end too. So Batman like gets his gets a power suit. If you guys ever watch Batman v Superman, way better fight scene. Like the lines that Batman say in it are fucking so good. Like I think Superman like has him for a bit, and then Batman literally. I'm just gonna go into full spoilers why I love this so much. Why this one's my number one. So like pretty much Batman fucks Superman up. Like he ends up like has his kryptonite and then like doing the spray to him. So he sprays it, so he like takes it in his lungs and it's stuck into him, so he's super weak. And he pretty much tells him, he's like, it took me millions of dollars and years. He's like, good thing I had both. And he's like, fuck, I forget what he said. He's like, he's just basically, he's threatening Superman. He's like, in your time when you're by yourself, he's like, you'll know that there's one person that defeated you, and that was me. And that's when Batman just beats the shit out of him for a while. Like Superman got his good looks into at the same time, but the end, like it was one of those things where Batman faked his own death. Like he did a thing where they were fighting, and then all of a sudden like Clark could see that his heart was like going all like rapidly fast, and that's what you find out like halfway through the part 1 and part 2, that Bruce is so old that like he has a really bad heart and shit like that, because he's been fucking crime fighting for like 40 plus years now maybe. And so he ends up like dropping dead, dying, and what happens is they have the funeral, Clark's there, and then Clark notices that Robin girl's there, and she has a shovel, and we're like Superman's walking away, and he hears and you can just you can just hear a heartbeat, and just hears it and walks away. It's pretty much that knows that like he won't be fucking around. And then it like kind of does a little time jump, and then we see Batman with like a bunch of like Batman gang, because at the end of the first part 1, a bunch of the mutant gang members joined and became of the son of Batman. So like there's just a big gang that like had Batman symbols on their faces, like running around saying that we are the son of Batman and shit like that. So it was fucking cool. So basically at the end, like Batman and Green Arrow and Robin have like their own, like they literally have a squad of like ninjas on their, like a squad of like Batmans on their side in the end. And then yeah, it pretty much ends. He's like, this is a good retirement. So it was fucking really cool. I like that. That's my number 1, and I hope you guys like enjoy my insight and don't mind me talking so much about it. Spoilers ahead again, guys. Sorry. That's my top 10 for DC animated movies. This is Sue Reviews. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks, guys.